Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rochelle, also known as WaxGirl888. In today's video, we're going to be studying together for the state board. I put together some of my very own notes based on the NIC structure, and that's basically just all the key points that they tell us are going to be on the esthetician test. Supposedly, but there's a lot of different versions of the test, so that's why they just tell you to basically study everything. So that's what we're doing. We are studying everything. My notes are simple but detailed, and they're very straight to the point, and there's no pictures or anything really inside of those notes because these videos are going to be basically made in the layout of those notes. So you can follow along with those notes if you do choose to purchase them. They are available for $8.88 on my website, which is in my bio. In part 1, we are going to be talking about microbiology, infection control, physiology, and anatomy. Now, we're not going to be talking about everything anatomy, everything physiology, just the key points that, again, are listed from the NIC bulletin that we're supposedly supposed to know for our test. So we're not studying everything anatomy, okay? In part 2, it will be about the integumentary system and skin histology. And then part 3, I know that we California estheticians do not need this, but I have a feeling they're going to bring it back one day, and I just want to be prepared for that in the future, prepare other SDs for it. So it's not necessary, you don't have to read it, but I'm going to study and do it for you guys. We are starting with microbiology. Now, what is microbiology and why is it important for us as estheticians to understand it? So, biology is basically just the study of tiny little microorganisms that we can't see with our regular eyes. You really have to use a microscope to see them. Things like bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protozoa. Okay, I don't know if I said that right, but basically these things are all too small to see with our own eyes. Again, my Milady book, I've used this all through school. I usually do clean it with a Clorox wipe, but who knows how many tiny little microorganisms there are on this book. If I had a microscope, I would show you, but you get the point. Okay, it's important for us as estheticians to really understand microbiology because we need to understand how these organisms interact with the skin and also our clients and our own bodies. So we're going to go over 2 types of bacteria, pathogenic and non-pathogenic. Now, this is how I kind of remember it. So pathogenic, think pathological liar, right? They're bad. They're not good. They're not good for you, right? But they're everywhere. Pathogenic bacteria are harmful little microorganisms. They cause disease and infections in humans, animals, plants, and yeah, they're not good. They produce toxins and they invade tissues. So you hear that? Toxins invade, not good. Lead to condition like acne, cellulitis, and systemic infections, which are not fun. Now, non-pathogenic bacteria, think non-pathological liar. They're the good ones, right? They're harmless little microorganisms. Sometimes they can even be really beneficial to us. They're essential in processes, again, like digestion. They protect us against harmful bacteria. So pathogenic, pathological liars, non-pathogenic, non-pathological liars. Viruses, what are they? Virus is a teeny tiny little infectious agent. They can basically only reproduce inside of a living host, okay? So you're not going to see a dead guy with a virus because he's dead. Viruses are made up of genetic material, DNA and RNA, and they're covered with a little protein coat. Examples of viruses, you guys should know about these. One of them changed our life. And influenza virus, that one causes, you guys know it, the flu. The SARS-CoV-19 or CoV-2 causes COVID-19, and that was a big one for us, guys. Not fun. Next, we're going on to animal and plant parasites. What's the difference? Parasites live on or inside another animal. Okay, so they really depend on that animal for survival. They usually end up harming the host in the process. Not fun. They can give them diseases, weaken them, and they can just overall interfere with the body's normal functioning. Another example are tapeworms. They live in the intestines of animals, which are the hosts, and they absorb all the nutrients from the host. Not fun. Nasty little ones. Ticks, not fun. They attach to the skin of animals. Animals, again, are the host, and they feed on their blood to stay alive. Okay, we're still in microbiology, guys. Stay with me. We're almost there. Plant parasites. It is what it is, guys. Plant parasites are organisms that live on or in plants. They take nutrients from the host plant. Okay? Then they oftentimes end up damaging it because it's a parasite. They can affect the growth, reproduction, and overall health of the plant. I don't know if you guys know this, but a mistletoe is a plant parasite. Yeah, so they attach to the trees and shrubs, and they steal their water and their nutrients. So we are done with microbiology. See, short, simple, sweet, to the point. We learned about pathogenic and non-pathogenic, pathological, non-pathological, good, bad, viruses. We went over a couple examples of viruses, animal and plant parasites. So if you guys don't understand all of that, go back, listen to it again, or you can check out my notes. Next, we're going to move on to the levels of infection control. So there are 3 levels to infection control. The first one is sanitization, the second one is disinfection, and the last one is sterilization. Sanitization is basically like the cleaning step. It's just like washing your hands with soap and water. It's getting rid of the dirt and the debris, but not all of the germs. Disinfection is a little bit higher level of infection control, and this is where you're really going to kill most germs and bacteria on those surfaces. You would use a disinfectant like alcohol or an EPA registered hospital grade certified EPA certified disinfectant. Okay. Let's see. And then the last level of infection control is going to be sterilization. Sterilization is the highest level you can get. It kills everything from bacteria to spores. Disinfection and sanitization don't kill spores, right? They only kill most germs. Sterilization gets rid of everything. Okay, give this through the use of an autoclave, dry heat sterilization. We'll go over some more of that in the next slide. So remember, the 3 steps of infection control are sanitization, disinfection, and sterilization. Okay, now that we know the levels of infection control, we are going to go over the method. The first level, sanitization, which is the basic cleaning level, removes all the dirt, debris, some germs, and it does not kill all the germs, guys. Remember that. Methods that you could use to achieve sanitization is washing your hands with soap and water, cleaning surfaces with detergent, using cleaning wipes. The second level, disinfection. Disinfect. How are we going to disinfect? It kills most germs. We are going to be using hospital grade EPA certified disinfectants. Also use alcohol solutions that are 70% or higher. There's also some UV light sanitizers, guys. Last one, sterilization. This is the highest level of infection control that you as an esthetician can achieve, and anybody in the world, I guess, whatever. We're going to eliminate all germs, everything, bye-bye. All those bad guys are gone, good and bad, whatever, bye-bye, including spores. It's used for tools that penetrate into the skin or become in contact with blood, etc. Bodily fluids. Can we achieve sterilization? You can use an autoclave, dry heat sterilizers. There's also chemical sterilants for more delicate tools. You can also use things like PPE, so we have gloves, masks, gowns, the shoe things. There's so many protective coverings that you can wear, and then just really practicing proper hygiene as an esthetician in your practice is really good, because why wouldn't you wash your hands after every single client and before and in between and always when you can, right? And then also safe waste disposal, so laws and guidelines on how those things have to be thrown away, right? We just finished the section on infection control. We learned about sanitization, disinfection, and sterilization, and some methods to achieve them. We're now going to start on the safety procedures section. So, what is OSHA? Just think of OSHA like the big daddy of the workforce, right? So, it's the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It's a U.S. government agency, and it's basically just responsible for the well-being of the employees, and to let you know about anything bad in the workplace that you may come in contact with while you're working that job, and just protects and enforces and creates guidelines and stuff like that for you as an employee in the workplace. OSHA's bloodborne pathogen standard. This is how they protect us from blood. So this applies to all industries that you may come in contact with bodily fluids, blood, or infectious material, as healthcare, tattooing, and aesthetics. Some key points of the OSHA bloodborne pathogen standard are ECP, which is Exposure Control Plan. So employers need to create a written thing just explaining to employees where they may come in contact with any harmful things, right? Also has to outline procedures that you can take if something bad were to happen, and it has to be updated annually. Universal precautions. You have to treat all blood and bodily fluid as if they are all infectious, no matter what, regardless of who it's coming from, your mom, your dad, your brother, who cares? You have to treat it all as it is infected. Engineering and work practice controls. Then the last one is going to be the PPE, personal protective equipment. Employers have to provide gloves, gowns, anything that you need to protect yourself in the workplace. All right, so now we're going to go over the MSDS, the SDS, whatever you guys want to call it. It's the Material Safety Data Sheet. So what is the Material Safety Data Sheet? It's a 16-section thing from OSHA that they give us, basically, that we have to have in every single workplace, wherever you work, solo, wherever. Everyone has to have it. It's a detailed document, and it's going to provide us with important information about the chemicals that are in our space and what we can do if exposure were to happen, as well as like handling instructions if something were to spill next to something that it's not supposed to be, like stuff like that, how to store it. Again, it's divided into 16 sections. Just think SDS, 16 sections. I will show you guys as well my simplified version up here on the screen of because it's a lot longer than this, I think. So I don't know, this is a little simplified version. Let's get blood spill procedure. All right, important to know for yourself as an esthetician, or to know if something were to happen with your client, because accidents do happen. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not, but again, accidents do happen, so it's always best to be prepared, right? This procedure is going to help you prevent the spread of infections in your practice. Now, I'm not going to go over this in super detail. You guys can look up the blood procedure protocol, or the blood spill procedure if you guys would like. I'm just going to quickly go over it, or again, you can read it in my notes. So first, you're going to stop the service immediately, protect yourself, treat the injury, dispose of the contaminated items properly, clean and disinfect the area, replace your gloves if needed, and then it's your choice if you want to resume the service or not. You're going to disinfect your tools and then wash your hands, remove your gloves. Carefully remove your gloves. Remember, you're going to, you're not just going to grab them like that with our one hand. Now you just exposed. All right, so we're moving on to cell structure. A cell is a basic living block of all living organisms, including the skin. It has three main parts. The first one is the cell membrane. The second one is the cytoplasm. And the third one is the nucleus. Cell membrane, cytoplasm, and then the nucleus. The cell membrane is basically just a protective barrier. It maintains hydration and allows nutrients to penetrate the skin from skincare products. Cytoplasm is, again, a jelly-like substance inside the cell where all that other little stuff is floating around, and it supports the cell's shape as well. The nucleus is the control center of the cell. The nucleus contains DNA, and that's going to determine what the function of the cell is. For skin cells, the nucleus is going to be the one that's responsible for creating new skin cells, which are going to be essential for healing and maintaining a youthful appearance. Now, what exactly is cell reproduction? Cell reproduction is how cells make copies of themselves. Copies of themselves to help living things grow, heal, and to just stay healthy. You guys can think of cell reproduction like a factory that's reproducing identical cells, products, to replace the old ones or the ones that are damaged. It's important for us as estheticians to understand the cell structure and about cell reproduction, because we need to know about the cell turnover rate, stuff like that, how to explain to our clients exactly what happens during that process. Now, in my notes, you'll find a more detailed description of exactly what happens when the cell divides, but I'll just quickly go over it and give you guys some insight into what happens. So the cell prepares to divide, and then it splits its DNA, and then it divides in half. And then 2 new cells are created with the identical DNA. And now they can grow and do their jobs and repair whatever they need to or go wherever they're supposed to go. Alright guys, that was it for cell growth and reproduction. See, very quick, very simple, very to the point. We're here. We learned about, I messed something up in the notes here, guys. I need to fix that in a minute. We basically learned about the structure of the cell, the membrane, cytoplasm, the nucleus, what happens in those areas of the cell reproduction. Also in the notes up here, I did put a little video of what happens if you guys see the cell splitting. We're going to move on now to tissues. So there are 4 tissues found inside of the body. Tissues work together to basically keep the body functioning properly. The first one is going to be epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue forms the outer layer of the skin and the inner linings of your organs, like your stomach, your lungs, and blood vessels. The job is basically just to act like a protective barrier and to keep things out, and also to help with absorption and sensation. It's important for us to understand this tissue as estheticians because it's the main one that we work on, guys. We should know about it, okay? Next is connective tissue. So connective tissue holds everything in the body together. It is what it sounds like, connective. It provides support and structure. That's its job, support and structure. It stores energy and also transports nutrients. So it's important for us as estheticians to really understand connective tissue because collagen and elastin give the skin firmness and elasticity. So that's part of the connective tissue. So we should know how to maintain those things and fix them, Yeah. The third one is going to be muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is going to be responsible for movement. It allows the body to move and helps organs function and keeps your heart beating. There are 3 types of muscle tissue. Skeletal muscle controls your body movement, so like lifting your arm. Smooth muscle is found in organs like your stomach. It's going to help your muscles or your organs work. Cardiac muscle helps your heart pump blood. So it's important for us as estheticians to understand this because we give facial massages. We need to know where to hit, what to do, improving blood flow, how we can tone the face, stuff like that. Nervous tissue sends messages throughout your body and allows you to feel sensation. It allows you to feel and respond to your environment, okay? So it detects stimuli, so like touch, heat, pain, blah, blah, blah. And it sends signals to your brain, and then your brain tells you how to react. All right, guys, that was it for the tissue section of our notes. We learned about connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue, and nerve tissue. Go back and reread the section if you need to. If not, let's go. All right, we're now going on to our organs and functions, systems, functions, whatever we want to call this part. So what are organs? Organs are parts of our body. They all have a specific job. The integumentary system is the skin, hair, nails, and glands. It affects you. It helps you regulate temperature. And it allows you to feel sensations like touch, heat, pain, cold, blah, blah, blah. Why is it important for us to understand as estheticians? Because duh, we literally work on this system, guys. Come on. All right, next we have the skeletal system. Bones, cartilage, and joints. Its job is to provide structure, protect the body and the organs, and help with our movement. Next, we have the muscular system. So what is the muscular system? It's made up of muscles attached in bones and those in organs. It helps the body move, maintain your posture, and also generates heat. We're almost there, guys. Next, we have the nervous system. Making me nervous. It's the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. It controls all of your body activities and possesses a sensation like pain and touch. And it sends signals to and from the brain. The circulatory system is the heart, blood, and blood vessels. Its job is to basically pump the blood and deliver nutrients while also removing the waste. That's it. You just completed the systems and their functions section of our notes. We learned about the skeletal system, the muscular system, nervous system, vascular system, and their functions. Go back and reread this section if you need to, but if not, guys, that is it. We are finished with our notes. Thank you guys so much for studying with me. I love making videos like this. I love learning. If you guys have any questions or you want me to go over more things in depth, let me know. Again, always study. Everything I learned is from this book and other, YouTube materials or books that I've read. So, yeah. See you guys in the next one.